Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Sarge here showing you some gameplay footage of a squad deathmatch that I had just the other night. This is with some of my boys over at AOD, and we're playing on our server with a lot of really good players, and some pubs are playing as well, and they happen to be really good. They're aggressive, they're tactical, they always play up front, up close, always in your face, and I know for some people out there, they don't really understand how to figure out a way to counter. And so this is kind of a tips guide for those of you who want to learn how to counter someone who is more aggressive and or defensive, and just in general a better player than you are. And so the first tip that I always give in a lot of my videos is sound, and I know I bring that up a lot, and that's kind of the whole bulk of this tutorial, is using sound to your advantage, including map awareness. And sound just amplifies your area of knowing what's around you. And so whether getting a 5.1 surround sound headset, I know some people like to go for this speaker setup, a surround speaker setup, and that's fine. But personally, I would suggest getting a nice headset that gives you a full surround sound experience. That way, when you're playing against players, you can pinpoint exactly where they are and know where they're at around you at all times. Another thing is a nice mouse. You want to make sure you have a really good, nice DPI mouse set up. I have the Razer Lachesis, which is kind of old, but I can produce over 4,000 DPI, even though I'm never going to go that high. But in general, it's really smooth, really clean. Aiming, it helps in aiding your aiming in the sense that when you move over to a certain marker, it's precise and exact, and you can kind of get a feeling of where exactly you're aiming when you're playing. And there's lots of mice out there that you can mess around with. Logitech produces some really good products as well. Another thing is hotspots on a map. When you're playing, you want to make sure you pinpoint where all the spots enemies seem to go or flank, and you can use that to your advantage, to whether you want to look out for that specific spot, or when you're running that direction, where to look and know and identify where the enemy might be coming out from, predicting where they might be. So that's something that just comes from experience. As you keep playing, you're going to know that, okay, there's guys always in this area, so I need to watch out for this spot. Another thing is spawn points. That also includes for Rush and Conquest as well. When you pick out spawn points, you want to know exactly where the enemy will spawn. Squad Deathmatch is kind of like a guess, because there's randoms all over the place, but you can get an idea that where you find one person, you can assume that maybe there might be others as well. So when you pick them off, you can look and make sure that there might clear out that area first, make sure that there's nobody there. But in Rush and Conquest, there's actually certain areas where the person is going to spawn. Rush, of course, defensive, they're going to be spawning on a defensive line, and on the attacking side, it's kind of linear. You get one side versus the other. In Conquest, when you're taking a flag, they're going to be spawning in a certain area around that flag, and you want to know exactly where that's at. That way, when you're going to capture it or you're holding it, you know exactly where to look at all times. And so that's another tactic that you want to use to your advantage at all times, is knowing where the spawn points are on the map. Another thing is making use of what your kit offers at the time. So if you have attachments or extra grenades, explosives, or motion sensor mines, it doesn't matter. Whatever you have on your kit, you want to make sure you use to its full potential. Don't waste it running around just trying to gun somebody with the only thing you have, which is your assault rifle, your primary weapon, and not get to use your secondary arms fire, or some C4, as you see me throwing down there. Use everything to your advantage. That's the biggest real final tip that I have for you guys. And last but not least, I want to give you guys a bonus thing that I would never give out to anybody else, another tip trick of mine, and that is watching your back. I know that kind of sounds corny, but it's very, very useful. When you're running a certain direction, you see nobody there, always make the chance to watch your 6. Make a 180, check your back, because you never know if somebody might be coming up from behind. And that's a common mistake people make, is they just assume that everybody's in front of them, and they just they run a certain direction, and they make sure that everything that's in front of them, that's where people are going to be. And that's not always the case. So whenever you get the chance, make a 180, check your back at all times, even if you don't hear anybody back there. That's always something that I use to my full potential. Anyways, you can see here a quick 1-on-4 here to finish off the match. Pull off pretty decently, and the game's going to be over here. Good game. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed that. Take those tips into consideration. Use them to whatever advantage you want to when you're playing against people that are, you know, aggressive. And as you see here, the match, we kind of all evened out there. So you can tell it was a really good game. And really good players were playing. And again, thanks a lot, guys, for watching. And if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to my channel, as I will be producing a lot more content coming out in the future. Take care.